All right, so we have to do something a little bit weird, and that's we have to call to order an official meeting because there's more than 2 commissioners here, right? So it's actually technically a meeting. I'm going to look over Connor. Are we recording this, Connor, or no? This is just open. All right. So made sure we're doing that. So this is a convening of the Massachusetts Gaming Commission. Today is October 29th. It's approximately 1:30. We are at the beautiful Maryland Rodman Performing Arts Center in Foxborough, Massachusetts. I'm joined by Commissioners O'Brien and Skinner. I don't think we have to take roll call because we're here live. And Commissioner Hill does send his regards. He's at a funeral. With that said, am I missing anything on calling us to order? I don't think so. Just wanted to introduce a good friend of mine, Michael Bobbitt. Michael and I have known each other a long time. He likes to tell people that the first time we ever met, it was a heated discussion. I think it worked out, don't you?
Yes.
Michael leads the Cultural Council with the highest integrity, the highest enthusiasm. He wants to make sure that the entire Commonwealth of Massachusetts becomes a better place for arts in every form. And his history of being in the live arts comes across. We've had the ability to do events like this a couple of times now. And as I said, I was there as soon as you got hired. And it was so amazing, all the work that you've been able to do. So with that being said, I think you're going to have some remarks. But we are now convened, and I'm going to turn it over to Michael Bobbitt.
Thank you. Thank you so much, and congratulations to Chair Maynard for his appointment from the governor, officially announced yesterday. It's been a great partnership with the Gaming Commission. What I love about our partnership is that I get to spend other people's money on the cultural sector, so thank you so very much. I just want to shout out to all the other commissioners. Good to see you all. Also, a special thank you to Senator Feeney and Rep. Vaughn for their support of the creative and cultural sector of Massachusetts. Thank you to Christine and Jennifer for your gracious hospitality. And honestly, I don't have anything else to say, but I hear that there's going to be renovations outside, thanks to some support from the Cultural Facilities Fund, and I also heard there was a heated debate about the color of the building, and I'm really happy that the color pink won. And if you don't know Mean Girls, on Wednesdays we wear pink, so everyone looks good in pink. So congratulations, really. My history is, I spent 12 years running a theater company just like this, and so to see the wonderful work, to be backstage again, is really thrilling. So thank you so much for having me, and I'll turn it back over to you, or whomever. I think, overview of Foxborough, Plainville, and Rethan Regional Marketing Initiative.
Thank you.
Just this for short people. Hi, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon and coming on that wonderful tour. Thank you for having us on that, too. So we are excited. I'm Rachel Benson, Director of Planning and Economic Development in Rentham. The three of us towns are very excited to have the Mass Gaming Commission here to talk about our regional destination marketing and its progress that we've had. This plan, which was generously funded by the Mass Gaming Commission, has been a collaborative effort between the towns of Plainville, Foxborough, and Rentham. The plan has been a unique opportunity for the three of us to elevate our local economy, drive tourism, and create long-term benefits for our communities. These three towns have their own charm, assets, and identity. Foxborough, home to Gillette Stadium, which brings visitors year-round, sports, concerts, other entertainment, also some great cupcakes. Rentham, as you know, we both boast one of the largest outdoor outlet malls. I always get that mixed up, in New England. And Plainville has Plain Ridge Park Casino, which has gaming, racing, and some pretty good dining options as well. Together, these destinations form a really strong regional attraction, which we just amplified with this plan. Since the project's inception in 2019, the initiative was more than a marketing effort. It's been about building a sustainable future for our towns through cooperation and shared growth. We're, again, grateful to the Mass Gaming Commission for believing in this vision. It was kind of crazy at the beginning, and providing the continued resources to bring it to life. Together with Open the Door, we have been taking incremental and foundational steps towards implementing an integrated and comprehensive regional destination marketing strategy. Chris Pappas from Open the Door will go over that, what we've accomplished so far.
Thank you. So we can just go to the opening presentation. So I am Chris Pappas with Open the Door. I have 35 years experience in destination marketing, and when I had the opportunity to bid on developing the marketing plan for this region, I was so excited and so happy to have won that opportunity and put my expertise to work for the 3 towns. What's even more exciting is that the opportunities that have been provided by the Gaming Commission, often those of us in destination marketing, go out and sell and promote, but we have no tools, and we're kind of doing it with a smile on our face and descriptions that we're talking about. But because of the funding that you have provided, we have really been able to lay the groundwork and create a foundation and, not only develop the plan, but then develop the website and other materials so that when we're out selling and promoting and marketing, we can actually show people what it's all about. So, the initial intent back in the end of 19, when I did bid to create the marketing plan was, hey, the FIFA World Cup is coming in 2026. We better get going and promote the region and let people know about it and learn about it. And, so all of our efforts are designed to boost the economic activity in the 3 towns of Plainville, Foxborough, and Rentham. And ultimately, our goal is to drive overnight stays, generating increased revenue for the businesses in the 3 towns, as well as increased revenue for tax revenue for the towns in the Commonwealth. So I will walk you through our work. We can go to the next slide. The 3 towns are unique in that they are small, quintessential New England towns, with the 3 big international draws, as Rachel said, the Plain Ridge Park Casino, Gillette Stadium, Patriot Place, and the Rentham Village Premium Outlets. What I find so fascinating, and so many people find fascinating, is that you have these world-renowned venues in these 3 small towns that have great shopping and dining and music, entertainment, indoor adventures, outdoor experiences, and so much more. So when we were developing a logo, we tried to address all of these elements. And we'll go to the next slide. I will show you how we have animated our logo to be able to use it on our website, in our digital marketing. It includes outdoor activities, the dice, football, shopping, entertainment in the 3 towns. Next. The color palette we chose, really evocative of the region, particularly at this time of year. The vibrant fall colors, we have our lush summer colors. The palette is flexible to support the brand across an array of platforms and assets. Next. And then, it's really interesting trying to come up with a logo for 3 towns. And we recognize that each town is so unique, so we selected typefaces that allow for individuality while having it be balanced all together. Next. Just want to show you, we have our typefaces. Basically, as we stepped into this program, we really created brand standards so that all of us, all 3 towns, and anybody working on promoting the destination is using the same assets. Next. And the logo includes the graphic as well as the type names and can be used together or individually. And we'll just spin through the next couple of slides. You can see on the next one that here it is with the maroon in our text. The next slide has it white. The next one is our black and white version. And then we'll go to the next slide. The logo can be linked up with the hashtag or the website is needed. Again, we'll show a couple of iterations of the brand in this way. Next. You have it with the hashtag. Next. Again, with the green color, depends on how we're using it. Next. With imagery behind it, if we're using it in an ad. Next. And then, of course, with the graphic. And the next one will show you how we can pair it all with an animated carousel of images to illustrate the diversity of all the offerings in the region. So this, again, will run for digital ads and in other places. Next. And then photography. Photography, we spent a lot of time on photography, and we're still building our photo library. The strength of the brand is enhanced by the use of engaging imagery that really tries to capture joyful people, active moments. And so we've, like I said, really built our photography and have a great library now. What we did was we also created 3 15-second commercials, and we've done a 30, 60, and 90-second promotional video, and we're just going to run through 3 of the 15 seconds and the 30-second quickly, and obviously I can make all of these available to all of you to see them in more detail.
We know what you're thinking. How can it be time to go home when there's still so much more to do? Visit Foxborough, Plainville, Rentham. Stay a little longer, play a little more. From outdoor adventures to indoor experiences, your family will be begging you to stay another day or two. Visit Foxborough, Plainville, Rentham. Stay a little longer, play a little more. You know what's better than a 2-day getaway? A 3-day getaway. Visit Foxborough, Plainville, Rentham. Stay a little longer, play a little more.
So, you know, the stay a little longer, play a little more actually works in a variety of ways. It can be stay a little longer, play a little more, stay a little longer, shop a little more, dine a little more, explore a little more. So really that tagline really gives us a lot of leverage to be able to use it in different places. And as you can see from the commercials, the promotional video, you know, we are looking at all different audiences, older couples, younger couples, families, you know, working towards friends, getaways, and all of that. Really, because the 3 towns have so much to offer, it's a great destination for, you know, for really any market segment. So we did create the website. That was one of the first things we put together after we created the marketing plan, and we are continually updating it like any website. You know, it's constantly changing, but basically it's interactive. It lists all the businesses, the shopping, dining, lodging, and attractions in Foxborough, Plainville, and Rentham, so people can find that information. We also have a series of suggested itineraries for, you know, visit like a local or have family adventures, 48 hours of art and culture, agritourism, just trying to give people the idea of what we have to offer here. Next. We are on social media. These are our social media icons. Next. We have Instagram and Facebook that we're pretty active with. Next. This just shows some usage with advertising, with our letterhead, our business cards. Next. Again, just the other side of the business card. We have a couple of PowerPoint presentations. Again, the next 3 slides will show the templates. We'll keep going. Basically, just we've created all the tools that we need to go out and sell. So the next slide. This is a picture from last year. New England, Discover New England is a promotional group that promotes all of New England to international markets, to bring in tour operators and media to try to bring business to the destination. And we hosted, they were in Boston, and we hosted 40 media planners and international media and tour operators who would bring business to the region. They came to the outlets, they came to Patriot Place, and they really got to explore what the region was about. Next. We've created a brochure. This is one of the few pieces that we have that's hard copy. We actually have copies here if you'd like to see it. Next. We have a virtual visitor's guide. Excuse me, I need to get my water. The virtual visitor's guide can be found on the website with more information on the destination. Sometimes people just like to be able to download the information and take it with them. Next. We have billboard ads that we have run locally. Next. Again, a few more. You can see what we've done. And the next one, we will show you, these are some of our digital ads. Again, all part of the same theme, all part of the same branding. Next. And then just a few results. So on the website, past 3 months, 14,000 users. This year, 42,000 users. Last year, 40,000, so we're getting there, trying to get people more engaged in what we're doing. Obviously, the events and the itineraries get more views. We ask anybody in the room, if you have events, shoot them off to us. We're always researching events and trying to post it. It's what people look for. But again, always happy to add more. We did an ad, this was just one example, in the Boston Globe Army Navy supplement, generated 103,000 impressions, had a click-through rate of 7%, which is higher than average. And again, looking at that metric that I mentioned at the beginning, generating tax revenue. Before we started the program, FY 2018, hotel tax collections was $1.8 million. And in 2023, FY 23, it increased to $2.4 million. And hopefully those numbers continue to increase, showing more people are coming to the region and staying in the region. And next. Few other things going on. So we do appreciate the generosity of the Gaming Commission, and we've been very strategic about our spending and have been building on everything that we're doing coming up. We have a targeted advertising campaign trying to draw visitors to the region for the holiday season, and then we'll take a break and then launch again in the spring and summer, and then hopefully we can extend that money a little bit more into the end of the year as well. We are starting actually next week on search engine marketing and geofencing for the next 14 months or so to see if we can drive some more traffic to the website and generate more awareness. Obviously, we'll be doing marketing implementation, sales strategy implementation. The sales strategy, we're really trying to go after some of those tour operators and meeting planners who do book business and would be interested in the region. It's nice to get the individual traveler, but it's really nice to get that piece of group business as well. And then continuing to develop assets, if we're attending trade shows, having pull-up banners, having additional collateral to be able to use, and all of that. So with that, I am happy to answer any questions. That's a quick summary of 4.5 years of work, but happy to answer any questions that you may have. No? All right. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you so much. Also, I've been all right, so I'll just do this from here. I think we're going to do a panels the next on the agenda, and I believe that Paige Duncan's going to step in and host the panel. So Paige, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm also short, so this works. Thank you, Rachel. So if I could call our panelists up, we'll get started on our discussion. So when we were planning this meeting, we were trying to think of a nice cross-section of small business owners, Plainridge Park, just trying to get, a broad cross-section of interests represented up here on the panel. And we're not trying to stump them, so we're going to try to throw you some softballs.
I don't know if we're going to find out. Which one do you want?
I think you're today. Yeah. You don't want to be my neighbor today?
I would love to. I just didn't want to make it harder for her.
So why don't we start with Stephen? If you could we'll go down the table. If you could just give us, a minute or so description of who you are, what you do, and just a little bit so we all know who you are.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Paige. My name is Stephen Bradford. I am the VP of Marketing at Plainridge Park Casino. Recently new to the position, but I've been with Plainridge for since we've opened. So I've been a part of the property and seen its development over the past 9.5 years. What I do there really is promote all of the great amenities that we have on property. We're fortunate over the past, I would say, 13 to 15 months, we've made some significant improvements on property, from restaurants to new carpet on the gaming floor to all new food court. So we have a lot of great things that we can offer to the region and to this area, and we're excited to be a partner and a small piece of the overall story.
Thank you. Welcome. Rob?
Awesome. I talk loudly, so I'm going to try not to kill anyone's eardrums there. You guys hear me all right? Awesome. Rob Lucente, I'm one of the partners at Union Straw Restaurant, which is about 150 yards that way. We opened almost 7 years ago and are the first full-service restaurant in the Uptown, which is our affectionate name for the downtown area. We are mostly a partnership of Foxborough dads who met on the soccer field and decided that there would be a need for some sort of full-service entity in the Uptown area, and we're happy to bring that there. We employ over 37 full-time employees right now, which we're happy to bring jobs into the area, and happy to be here talking to you guys today.
Thanks, Rob. Deb?
Hi, I'm Deb Zundin, and I work for Jeff and Julie Kinney. I was the general manager of An Unlikely Story, and I'm now working as a project person on downtown Plainville, and I'm here representing them. Jeff is on book tour right now, and so was not able to come today, and Julie is with him. And the next phase of what Jeff is doing, if any of you have driven through Plainville's center, everything is down. The buildings are all down, and we're starting to look to what will be there next. And we're starting with a beer garden and a park to start with, but eventually there'll also be a full-service restaurant there as well. And we're very happy to be here and to be helping Plainville to become a destination in itself. The bookstore is somewhat of a destination just for the fact that it is owned by Jeff Kinney. We have a lot of Wimpy Kid fans that end up there all year long, but primarily in the summer too. Anyone who's traveling from Europe, from across the country, the fans know that Jeff Kinney has a bookstore, and they're going to visit it if they're anywhere near Boston. So we hope that we contribute a great deal to the downtown now, and will contribute even more once the square is done.
Thanks, Deb. Allie?
All right, so I'm Allison Renault. I am the owner of Allie's Cookies. I started Allie's Cookies as a residential kitchen about 18 months ago. Started at the weekly Thursday night farmers market in Foxborough. We quickly realized that it was going to be more than a seasonal treat for everybody. We found retail space. Yesterday was our 1-year anniversary of having a brick and mortar store in what we affectionately call in the Uptown. We're neighbors. When people ask, I say I'm right next to Union Straw. I've stopped saying the Primo sign because people get very confused. So we opened a year ago, and we have slowly expanded our hours. We started just as a retail space, still having a residential kitchen. About 2 months ago, we completed a renovation to add a fully commercial kitchen. That was a big step considering the age of our building. We learned a lot through that process, Paige, with your team. We're just excited to be here. We're excited to be able to provide, a little piece of happiness. Sugar and butter goes a long way. To be able to participate with so many organizations, the people we meet, as I've looked out, most of these spaces 18 months ago I wouldn't have known, and it's just so exciting to be able to see so many of you, whether it be the YMCA or the theater. So we love to partner with you, and we have expanded to Thursday through Sunday hours, and we also have a mobile unit now where we sell coffee and cookies. So.
Big move, big move.
Big move. We've been...
Watch your streets for the Allie's Cookies truck. They're coming to you.
I know my market. It's the under 10 soccer crowd.
And me. And me.
Going well. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Allie. Catherine?
I fully endorse Allie's Cookies. I'm pulling my mic closer because I know Paul from FCA up taping us will say, Catherine, no one spoke close enough to the mic. So Paul, this is for you. So Catherine Miller, Executive Director of the Marilyn Rodman Performing Arts Center. Really thrilled to be a part of this vibrant community. We started before restaurants really had taken shape, and the partnerships that we've built with some of the people at this table have been absolutely huge. You've learned a lot about us from the tour, so I'm not going to talk too long, but I did take that 3 to 5 minute introduction to heart, so I have a little video to show, if that's okay.
Welcome to the Marilyn Rodman Performing Arts Center, a beacon of culture in the revitalized uptown area of Foxborough, Massachusetts. The MRPAC stands as a proud anchor of our community as part of the revival of this historic district. Let's take a moment to look at the remarkable journey of revitalization in the uptown area and the role the theater plays. Once a quiet corner, Uptown now thrives with life, thanks to the efforts of dedicated community members and local businesses. At the heart of it all is the Marilyn Rodman Performing Arts Center, drawing in visitors and residents alike with its diverse offerings. Now let's talk about the opportunities the MRPAC provides and creates for our community. For aspiring actors, it's a stage to hone their craft. For young dancers, a place to express themselves. From world-class musicians who fill the air with unforgettable melodies, to comedians who leave us in stitches with their wit and humor, and bands that get the crowd on their feet dancing the night away. The Marilyn Rodman Performing Arts Center has earned a reputation for excellence, attracting top-tier performers. So when you come to the MRPAC, you're not just seeing a show, you're experiencing the best of the best right here in Foxborough. Here at the MRPAC, we're planning ahead for generations to come. Our vision is bold, our dreams are big, and we're committed to expanding and modernizing this beloved theater. The future of the MRPAC is about growth, innovation, and ensuring that the arts continue to thrive in this region. But we can't do it alone. The support of our community is crucial to realizing this vision. Whether it's attending shows, donating, or volunteering, there are so many ways you can contribute to the MRPAC's success.
Rachel, you're up next.
I'm Rachel Benson, Director of Planning and Economic Development in Rentham, and I, along with Paige and Chris P. Pappas, have been part of the inception, the OG crew on this. So
just as an aside for those, how did this happen? And it's actually kind of funny and a mistake. Back in I don't even know when it was, 2018, 2017, one of the former commissioners of the Mass Gaming Commission, Bruce Stebbins, sent out a call, I think it was for a white paper, on how to use the Economic Development Fund. And I mentioned this to you earlier. Being a very busy planner, I didn't always thoroughly read things, maybe. And so I saw this, and I saw money and ideas, and so I typed up my whole idea of how to spend your money, and I sent it off to Mr. Stebbins, and he said, well, that's lovely, except we're really just talking about a white paper at this point. But fortunately, that got me on the radar, and then, Mr. Stebbins was kind enough to follow up, and I was in the queue, and then we did apply. But it was kind of an ironic thing. I thought he wanted me to spend his money, and he wasn't quite there yet. So here we are. So I'm going to start off with some questions for panelists, and I'm going to start with a small business first. I think I'll start with Rob. What inspired you and the other soccer dads to start a business in the small town?
Yeah, it was the soccer wives too, so I just
Okay, sorry,
make
yeah.
sure we get all of them in there, because I'll be corrected at the end. Honestly, it was out of need, and we were attending a lot of events. There's, the tree or manure lighting in the Uptown Common, and just other town events, whether it be the parade, Founders Day, the Little League Parade, which I saw Deb earlier, was like the greatest thing with the kids. So there was really nowhere to go after. There were some pizza places, which are great, but nothing that was like kind of sit down, go have a drink, bring friends and everything else. So it kind of came from the need of, we could use something like this in Uptown, and there were a lot of great stores already in existence, but as just a sit-down restaurant, food and spirits, there was nothing kind of like that. So we were interested in that.
And can you just briefly give some of the, one or two top challenges that maybe go across the board for small businesses?
I could write a book on the challenges, honestly. The first thing is, I think there's just way more work than anyone ever expects. I think you have a plan until you don't, and the plans are great, but I think it's just prepare for the unexpected, and around every turn and every stud in the wall or every pipe, there's something that could go wrong with that. So we've kind of learned in a lot of baptism by fire of what to do and how to react in a situation. But I will say, the community as a whole around the area, not just in Foxborough, but the surrounding communities as well, really receptive to new initiatives coming into the area, whether it be dining, entertainment, gaming. There's really a reception for just more to come to the area. So it's great to see so many businesses starting to open up and expand and change. And it's really kind of what we were all hoping to see Uptown become is what's happening now.
Absolutely. So Deb, your group, it's very interesting. It seems, from a planner looking in, it seems like Unlikely Bookstore is really changing the nature of downtown Plainville. What would help, or what would you like to see, or sort of how has it changed the community, and how could the community help Unlikely Story, or how could the state, what government involvement could help Unlikely or has helped Unlikely moving forward so far?
We actually have a fantastic relationship with the select board and the planner and everyone in the town government, and they have been so supportive. They've really been a partner in this development. Jeff is obviously the developer, but he has really taken to heart what he thinks Plainville needs and has discussed a lot of the ideas with the select board. So now when we've come to the point where we're actually deciding what should be there, they have really been encouraging in terms of they changed some zoning for us. The town voted to change some zoning to allow other things in the downtown like outdoor dining, which we didn't have before. So from that perspective, the town has been really, really supportive. I can relate to the problems for sure. We used to say in Unlikely Story, if it's unlikely to happen, it will most definitely happen here. But anything that's happened, we've been able to work through. And right now, I would say the support that we need, we're getting from the town. We will need more support from the state as they are coming through 1A to do the roadway project. So that's where we're going to need cooperation in kind of aligning the two projects together so that we make sure that we would like some off-street parking. We want to put that in the plan. There are different things that would really be helpful in coordinating with the state on that particular project for sure.
Great, thank you. Okay, now we're over to the casino. Let's hear from you. So, what are some ways that PPC is currently engaging with our three towns? And now, sort of hearing the initial presentation, can you think of any ways to collaborate and work together in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So Plain Ridge Park is known as your hometown casino, and I think it resonates pretty well with who we are, not only as an overall company, Penn Entertainment, but also who we are as employees at the property. We do a phenomenal job, and we're really proud that we have employees and team members that have an opportunity to grow a career and have a career close to home, like myself, being an example. We're also fortunate to be part of a network of multiple casinos within Penn Entertainment, which allows us to really promote and bring awareness to this area. We can bring people from some of our other locations and really showcase what this area has to offer. We actively partner with Rent Them Outlets and Patriot Place to support both of those on dine-in, entertainment, shopping, all of those experiences that we have to offer in this area. And then really lastly, continuing to just stay invested in the community, being a part of the local charities, supporting community events. I know I do a few throughout the year, and it's always a great sight to see and be supported at those events. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Allie, what do you love most about running a business in a small town, and what would you say to Allie of 5 years ago? Is there anything you would have done differently, or any recommendations?
Well, the Allie of 5 years ago never would have thought they'd leave a corporate job. That was my life. Fair. Catherine's known me for quite some time. I think just putting yourself out there and having faith in your community, it's not a small town, but it's mighty. And the fact that people want to spend their time and their money and their energy coming and supporting us, it's unbelievable. The schools, everybody that has a local organization, it feels like, has reached out to us. Can we do this? Can we do that? Joanne Drewzy's foundation, just so many people who I look at and say are so much bigger and mightier than we are. So 5 years ago, I never would have thought that some of these names and some of these organizations would be interested in my homemade cookies. And just believing in yourself, I don't step back and reflect hardly ever. Because to Rob's point, there's no time. There's no time to reflect. You just get up and you go. And you go and you go and you go. So I think being able to have some of the people in the town force me to stop and say, you need to reflect on what you've done. Because 5 years ago, I never would have imagined, having a women's owned business in a town like ours.
Thank you. Catherine, so can you talk to us about a few initiatives that MRPAC is taking to sort of help build a vibrant community, and sort of where the partnerships are taking you, where they've been, and where you'd like to see them go?
Yeah, so community has been the root of everything that we're doing. We're always looking for those businesses that have just been so wonderful to help us, to help extend the brand. And I think what we're seeing is, a huge rush of people come from cities to live in small suburban areas. So our big thought is, how can we build a vibrant community within the work that we do? So really focusing on diversifying our offerings. You saw wonderful children's performances that we have, but we're also welcoming bodybuilding competitions. Sounds silly, might not fit exactly within the mission, but what we're doing is we're bringing in new audiences to the area so they can visit the casino, so they can frequent the restaurant, so they can go to Patriot Place. So we're really trying to be a cornerstone of culture and then help extend the offering to more people who visit the area.
Great. You're doing great.
Thanks. It's fun.
And Rachel, having been involved in this effort from the beginning, when this is fully realized, what do we envision? What do we envision?
Well, right now it involves a beach. It's kind of cold outside. I think and again, you can also, you've been part of this, we wanted this to sort of not be in competition with the Chamber of Commerce, but act as something that people can come to and, it's sort of self-sustaining. You maybe have like an executive director that will sort of oversee and help with you all to, promote your businesses outside of just, they have a bigger reach as well. And, talking to the, I think Chris Pappas was talking about something about the bus tours as well, which there's a whole, expanding your reach as well to help you and also help, the local communities. A rising tide lifts all boats.
Yeah.
That's how I envision it, but.
Yeah, and to build on that, I think sort of adding to where it might be held. One of the things we've encountered through this process is these businesses, like to Rob and Allie's points, are literally every day working not to survive, but to survive and grow. So when we call them up and go, hey, you got a good picture for our website, or do you have this? Like honestly, most businesses did not have time to really give us that information. I mean, they weren't. It's not that they didn't want to. It's just they're not set up for it. They don't have the resource. They don't have the time. They're doing their business and that's it. So I think moving forward, that would be one thing, is maybe something that's built into to assist businesses, whether it's marketing, whether it's web presence, because that's one thing we struggled with. Like we had to send Chris' team out to take pictures because some of the pictures that are on the website just aren't suitable. So it was little things like that when we came up against small businesses and we're like, no, but we're trying to help you. And the businesses are like, we would love to help, but we don't know how to take it. So I think that was one of the challenges we've seen, and I think in the future there'd be some sort of mechanism by which this region's businesses are further supported, whether it's web design or marketing or some sort of resource there. Okay, so does anybody have any questions in the audience for the panelists? I have a few more I could do, but rather than just us always talking, I'd love to hear from folks in the crowd if there's any questions, comments, whatnot. Come on, you're not shy. Heather, come on, you just have a question.
Thank you all for coming today, and your presentation was awesome. One thing I will say, and the one term I haven't heard the entire presentation, is the idea of the whole COVID thing. And there's all these remedies of these vaccines that you can have with COVID, but after hearing your presentation, seeing what you've kind of brought forward to each one of these communities, the cure for COVID is actually what you're giving us, is that small town mightiness to say that you're bringing the community together, growing that spirit together, and I thank you for your efforts with that, building our community stronger.
Yay.
This comes up a lot in our town. We're trying to figure out how we can best support the local businesses. Is it by just word of mouth, or spotlighting a business each week, or we've done, flyers or window decals? So I guess I just would like to know from the group if you guys have anything that you would think, what would really help us out is if the citizens would do X, Y, and Z, because we know you guys don't have time to do it, and we want to do it, but we don't want to waste your time. So I guess that would be my question, is what could we do?
I can field this one. Our business is a little unique, different than you guys. One of the things that we've found tremendously helpful for our business is events. Setting up on the Common, that's like literally where we started, and we continue to do it. We're out there when the JCs put on their fair, we'll be out there for the Light Up the Town. So for us, having those types of events to be able to bring more people in that, believe it or not, drive by our store every single day, and we hear them say, I didn't know you were there. Or, there was no parking out front. I know parking's it's like a swear word, but that's probably one of the biggest challenges that we have is accessibility. So when we have these events, the amount of people that come with, grandparents, strollers, dogs, So just a place to gather. All the things that you mentioned are tremendously helpful. Social media, but let's be honest, there are people out there that don't use social media. So what are the other mediums, what are the other vehicles that we can use that speak to not just a particular generation, because we really want to be the answer to everybody. They're cookies, or it's food, it's books. These are commodities that everybody can use. So how do we using resources that can help, I think, everybody of the community.
That's great.
I think the short answer too is it's a little bit of everything, like you
yeah.
said. It is grassroots, it is social media, it's word of mouth, it's a little bit of everything, because there's so many different information sources that everyone's getting their news from and information from, and where to go, and Yelp and everything else, that I think it's nice to have different approaches sometimes where it's just community focused and community based. And even in Foxborough here, sometimes on the discussions there of people just asking where to eat will turn into 700 comments of everyone just talking about restaurants from here to Providence, and it's great. And I think just it's a wide net we're trying to cast.
I also think that anytime that you can get that shop local message out with decals, with whatever materials that you can put out there, that's important. People need to know that, when their money is spent in the local economy, it stays in the local economy. We hire people who are local. We pay taxes locally. We support the economy. So if you shop local, you're supporting the local economy too.
Thank you. Catherine, can you just speak a little bit to how state funding has helped this theater in particular?
Absolutely, and it has tremendously. I will say when I started, the board of directors was really strong and smart, I will say, for hiring an executive director amidst the pandemic. And I think that was something a lot of arts organizations didn't do. And my first friends here were Senator Feeney, Jay Barrows, Paige Duncan. They came out of the woodwork, welcomed us into the community as a theater, and really said, how can we help you? The advocacy on the state level for funding and then having it received through the Mass Cultural Council has been huge. My first performance here, it was raining in on a patron in the back left of the theater. It was humbling, and now I know what to ask on an interview question. Does it rain inside the theater? And we quickly got funding, and were able to remedy those really important needs. We replaced the roof, the HVAC system with the Cultural Facilities Fund that Mr. Bobbitt spoke about earlier. We are going to be redoing the exterior of the building in terms of making it ADA compliant, making it a little easier on the eyes, repainting it, fixing the trim. So all of these projects, which really seem daunting to an organization our size, they're substantial projects, are really made possible through the help of local and state and even federal funding for that. And the rewards are great. We see that we are able to give, I think in 2022, we estimated we gave $500,000 back into the economy through the work that we did, and that number raised in 2023 to $850,000. So the work of a small arts organization can really make a strong impact, but that all started with that local support.
Yeah, and not to put you on the spot, but I know I was at the event at Union Straw. We raised more money. So you got a big chunk from the state, but how much did the local folks, because it really has created a passionate following, shall I say, and it was actually fun giving money. You made it fun.
It was, so now we'll have another pink party, and all of you will have to attend.
Yes, you can't miss it.
High expectations. So $81,000 is coming from the Mass Cultural Council, which we wanted to match, and overall we raised about $120. So it was a really significant amount raised, yeah.
And I think that kind of highlights sort of what everybody's been saying is the love for community, this desire to get back to our small town. When I came here in 2015, folks like Heather and everybody were lamenting the loss of Uptown Foxborough the way they remembered it. Everybody, I don't remember it, but everybody remembers this Uptown Foxborough as, where everybody went in the, Saturdays and Sunday mornings. There were candy stores, there were cheese stores. It was the hub of the community. You went there to shop, you went there to visit, you went there for all reasons. Well, obviously we all know that the world has changed, and we're probably probably never getting back to that with Amazon and whatnot. But I think we've all realized that we're kind of going too far and we want to get back. So I think that's where this effort, this community theater, even bringing folks, from this marketing and tourism initiative is really trying to draw folks to the quintessential New England towns that we offer, the 3 towns we have. Come back to your roots, come see what a small town is. It might not be 1950s uptown Foxborough, but 2020 is gonna rival that, and we're starting to see it. And like I said, on November 30th with the Light Up Town, you'll think you're in a Hallmark movie. It is really that. And I mean, you have folks at Union Straw, you have folks at Shoveltown. Now we're gonna have a hot chocolate and cookie truck thing. I just can't even. So we've done it. So I think it's just really showing the connection with community, that we all have this love for hometown. And I think all of these businesses here represent that, and we welcome Plainridge Park into it and Rentham Premium Outlets. And just by way of background, the way this also came up was I worked in Rentham for 10 years, and we got 13 million visitors a year to the Rentham outlets. And they all seem to just stay in Boston and maybe take a charter bus down for the day and then leave. They don't come to any of our businesses. They don't go to our restaurants. They don't see our beautiful town commons. They go to the outlet mall and leave. So that was sort of the impetus. And then when you add in Patriot Place, we're up around 20 million visitors pre-COVID that came to this region mostly for day trips. So we want to not only get the one-offs, but we want to get the conferences, get a conference at Patriot Place, or Gillette Stadium, do it there, and then have shuttles that run to Plainridge Park, that run to the outlet mall. Families can do these. So that is our ultimate vision. The Gaming Commission is really the reason we're here. We thank you so much. Seeing Chris do her presentation finally made it real. It feels like we don't have a lot of bells and whistles to show for what we've done, but as you see, what we've done is very foundational, and now we're finally ready to start selling. And I kind of laugh because we have billboards in our own region. Where we need the billboards is actually out of our region, but we get those billboards for free, so that's why we were just test driving them. But ultimately, we want to get to that point where we're drawing folks from, Connecticut, Vermont, New Jersey, and then actually Europe. I mentioned this, that my building commissioner in Rentham was in the Ukraine long before it was at war, and he bumped into someone, met them, and said, "Oh, I'm from Rentham," and they actually said, "Shopping, we go shopping there." So that is the reach of the Rentham Premium Outlet. So we want those folks not to stay in Boston. We want them to stay here and to visit our communities. So with that, do we have any other questions? Does anybody on the panel have anything? Yes, Mr. Dooley.
I guess one of my questions is, and you kind of answered it, is the vision on geographic reach for this, right?
This is Don Dooley from the Rentham Premium Outlets.
Is there any talks with maybe partnering with like a Visit MA or something like that to really expand the reach of this to people outside of our region?
Sure. Chris, can you help me with that one?
Yeah, we work with Meet Boston, which is the Convention and Visitors Bureau for the region, the Regional Tourist Council. And we also work with the Mass Office of Travel and Tourism. And they have all of our materials and all of our promotion. The problem is, of course, resources, only stretch so far. But when they're going to trade shows that obviously we couldn't afford to go to, when they're doing marketing campaigns, promotions, when they have media writers in from all over the world, we're saying, hey, we'll host, hey, we'll do that, we'll take care of that, and then scrambling to find somebody to host. So we are extending the reach, because again, this initially came about when Paige started it. It was all about, FIFA World Cup is coming 2026, better be ready, better tell the world. And so we're working towards that, but partnering with those organizations and others to do that.
And was it Meet Boston that funded our visitor's guide?
Yep.
Yes, so we did get a grant from the Meet Boston, and they funded the visitor guides we have. Yep.
And Mass Office of Travel and Tourism helped to fund the 15-cent commercials as well.
Oh, yeah.
So we've been applying for other grants and trying to bring everybody into play, but they all know what they're doing, what we're doing. In fact, we recently had a lead for an axe throwing competition. But it's like a big sporting event, and so Meet Boston is working on that proposal and working with local hosts and trying to get that business for here as well. So we're again working with those organizations to stretch it.
Fantastic, thank you.
So So Dawn, given that you're such a major player in this, what would the outlet mall, is there anything we can offer to the outlet mall? Is there anything the outlet mall can bring to us? Like, is there anything we could be doing better or differently that you can think of?
No, I think for us, it's a great opportunity to combine some of the other things in the area. You know, certainly we have a great partnership with Plain Ridge Park and Casino. You know, Patriot Place, what a great venue, and you know, we certainly benefit from when the Patriots are playing in town and people are visiting. You know, we certainly have amenities that people are looking for, but we also lack certain amenities that you know, we wish we could provide, that some of our partner community members you know, could provide. So I think overall it's just a great partnership. You know, it's been 4 years, I think, since we've started initially planning this, and I'm glad to see that it's starting to really come into fruition.
Thank you for all your help for these past few years.
Absolutely.
Paige,
So-
can I also just mention, right
Go
here.
ahead. Just sound like who's talking.
I just wanted to mention too how the Mass Gaming Commission helps small local venues. So they have a grant opportunity through the Mass Cultural Council where they offer monies to places that have headlining acts. So we were a recipient of some funds this year to be able to bring in larger acts that we could normally not afford thanks to that fund. So we're very grateful for that as well.
And people do notice that. I mean, it actually kind of creates a little buzz in the community when you see a headliner that's, you know, a step above. You're like, oh, wow, look at that. That's a name I've not just seen in Foxborough before.
And they're expensive, you wouldn't believe.
I bet.
In my next life.
Anyone else? Yes.
The semi-quincentennial is coming up. I'm curious as to any coordination or marketing or events or collaborations you're all thinking of. We know there are going to be lots and lots and lots of people here, probably concentrated in Boston. I'm sure there's not going to be enough occupancy in Boston, so they'll be looking. I'm sure there will be not enough occupancy in Boston and things to do in Boston, so they'll be looking to spread out. Have you all had any conversations about that?
Good idea.
I'm on that 250th commission, and so we're looking at ways. I mean, obviously, a lot of the activity is focused around Boston, Lexington, and Concord, but trying to figure out ways to spread it around the Commonwealth. So we don't have specific plans yet, but it is part of our plan that we're working towards. Understanding that there will be so many people here in 26. It's with everything that we have going on. It's going to be crazy, and so hopefully we'll be well positioned to grab our share of that market.
Yes.
Just to circle back on that conversation of like local, regional, or international tourism, in the success you've had in the last few years, which of those areas, whether it's professional conventions, local tourism, regional, or maybe even international, where has the most growth been across those different, I guess, markets, we'll call them?
Sure. Chris, do you know?
Most of it has been local, regional, and we haven't had the huge focus on the meetings and conventions yet. We're just starting to work in that direction in the past 6 months or so. So it's mostly local, regional, but we're certainly doing our best to drive some of that national and international business. That group, that Discover New England group that we hosted with the 40 media and tour operators last year, I'm still in touch with the tour operators who, these are people in France and in Japan and really everywhere who are sending visitors. And so, they're asking what can we do? How do we get from Boston down there? How do we get around? I mean, I think that's, at the moment, one of the bigger stumbling blocks is, we get people here. If they don't rent a car, how do they get around from town to town? So that's the next grant we have to look for from the...
Yeah, we need a transportation grant.
The GATRA-GO pilot program would be a great opportunity to expand that. That had some great success. It stumbled at the beginning because it was right around COVID, so we were able to sort of extend that. But it has shown some great successes it's pretty much just like you would Uber, You call it up and Gatra Go will come and pick you up within a geofenced area. And if we could expand that, it would, especially with FIFA coming, that would get a lot of cars off the road too, so.
Yeah, and there have been similar programs like that in Salem and Concord and Lexington, different pilots that they've done to kind of expand that transportation reach. So yeah, I think that's the next step. That's where we need to go next to build on everything else. Because again, people don't know, visitors don't know, especially those outside visitors, they don't know borders and boundaries and anything else. They just want to go and have a great experience, and they don't know where the town, division is. But if they can't get around easily, they're going to think twice the next time they try to pick a destination.
Thank you. All right, with that, Jordan, I think you want to close it out. Is that you?
Yes, we have some time for open discussion. With that said, Paige, I have to let you know that you can still get a hold of Bruce Stebbins, but he has some pot money now, not gaming commission funds, so he'll kill me for saying that. I just want to point out that, everybody knows, something's going on next Tuesday, right? I think it's a little busy. And the fact that you have part of your delegation here is really, really huge. And so I wanted to offer both Cinder Feeney and Rep Vaughn an opportunity to say anything you want to say. Lily's got some mics if you want to.
Hello, everyone. Representative Marcus Vaughn from Rentham. I just want to thank everyone for coming out today. I know with the Gaming Commission dollars and Mass Cultural Center dollars realized in part of my district at the Belforge Arts Center, and I've been to a few events there in Medfield. Looking forward to coming to some events here in Foxborough. I've never been here. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here today. Thank you very much.
And thank you as well, Mr. Chairman. And first of all, congratulations on the appointment, and to the commissioners that are here, and to Director Bobbitt and others. And Paige putting together this. This is like my ideal Saturday. So I'm playing Texas Hold'em virtually at Plainridge. I'm going to Rob's restaurant for a couple of beers. I'm taking my nephews to An Unlikely Story. I'm grabbing Allie's cookies on the way home, and I'm coming to see a show. So, but thank you for all that you're doing and kind of, piecing everything together. We have been very, very successful, especially under the leadership of Representative Barrows, which I haven't seen him yet, but he is retiring this year, but in regionalization for so many things, infrastructure, obviously, and now, with this program, understanding that we kind of, when we come together, we can just, we can really build to scale some of the programs that we wouldn't be able to do as individual communities. But we're only able to do that because we have the support and vision of people in the community, people like Paige and our town managers and our select board and our local officials, to be able to do this and realize the exponential growth that we can see, not in individual silos, is just incredible. It really is. And to think about what we have over the next 2 years, Mr. Chairman, with World Cup coming here, and certainly all the growth that we're going to see, despite dealing with many of the challenges that our business owners have to face on a daily basis when it comes to workforce and expenses and inflation and everything else, they're making it work, and we are ready for the big stage in this region. We have been pitching for many, many years for that growth that we see coming out of Boston and other areas, and we're starting to see it here. But I'm just so grateful for everybody that's been involved, and to you and the commission especially for taking good care of those funds and making sure that they go to good places, along with Director Bobbitt, who I'm a huge fan of, and has been doing incredible work. So thank you all.
Thank you, Rep. and Senator. I will say $670,000 through the Community Mitigation Fund has been given to this project since 2019. And so with the continued support of the General Court, not that I'm lobbying you from the stage, which I might be, we will continue to make good use of those funds. And to that point, I want to point out Joe Delaney and Mary Thurlow, and Lily Wallace has been walking around with the mics. The fact that we have a great team together to help us administer those funds on the commission. All right. With that, I give a lot of money to you guys. I think I buy almost every article of clothing there. I'm serious. I even got the email that Vineyard Vines is moving. Commissioners.
Shake Shack is coming in.
What was that? I have. Not to. I don't want to pander to the crowd, but I have a few times. So I went to the Xfinity Center and then stayed and stayed around, and I've been to this shovel town more than I should admit. Commissioners, we have an open discussion period. Would you like to say anything? Add anything in? Lily's got a mic here. I think she can get to us.
I just want to thank everyone on the panel for your perspective. It was really nice to come out to see you all, to hear your stories, to hear about all the great work that you're doing for the community, Foxborough, Plainville, Rentham. My colleague has indicated the great work that our team at the commission does to get those funds distributed through Mass Cultural Council. And so just want to say keep up the good work. You're doing great things for the community and increasing visibility. And we support you. And again, thank you for having us here. It was a fantastic tour of this lovely facility.
I reiterate everything the chair said, everything that Commissioner Skinner said. And for me, I think I told this to a couple of you, that my mother actually grew up in Mansfield. I was living here for a period of time, and so I've driven by. I'm one of those people that drove by all the time and just wondered what was going on inside. I think it was on some tougher days when I lived down here. So really excited to be able to come in, see what it was and what it is becoming. I still want to see the piano from the silent movie. Before I leave, I want to make sure I see that. But reiterating what was said in terms of it's really one of the best parts of the job for me has been going out to the track, right? Seeing the crew and the industry and the economy that's behind that, and then seeing the community mitigation fund dollars, the hard work that the team does in getting it out there, and to be able to see it in action and the ripple effect is really uplifting for me in terms of going back in and doing the day-to-day part of our job, which is not as interesting as coming out and doing this. So thank you all for taking a good chunk of your day out of what I'm sure is a very busy day trying to run businesses and your agenda in terms of on the Hill. So thank you to everyone who's here, and thank you to everybody who hosted us. Really appreciate it.
All right, with that, I will say, Catherine, I will be here for the Nutcracker. Grace, can you make sure that I actually do what I say I'm going to do? And I'll stop by Shoveltown on my way, and I'll grab some cookies, and we'll have a great time. With that said, we do have to officially close the meeting. If there's nothing else, anything else anybody else wants to say? Thank you, Director Bobbitt, obviously. Beth Ann is fantastic, too. Thank you for everything that you guys do. Michael?
The Community Mitigation Fund is different than the Gaming Mitigation Fund, and I just wanted to say that I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, about $10 million in the Gaming Mitigation Fund we dispersed over the last 2 years. Oh, yes. Yeah, so that's through the partnership with the commission. Our largest grants. Yes.
So what Michael is saying is very important. It's that he gets to spend our money, and then we get to spend our money, and he gets to spend more of our money than we get to spend. But that was in the legislation, so there's nothing we can do about that. But that said, it all comes from our partners in the gaming industry. So around $10 million has went to this from that fund, and like I said, over it was $640,000 from our fund, and the point we're trying to make here today, why are we here today, is to say we will continue to get these funds into good projects if we continue to have the funds to do so. And the state has provided us with a lot of great tools to do so efficiently and with integrity. So that's what we're here for. So yeah, I want to come to the Nutcracker. I want to go to Shoveltown and get the cookies and all that. But we do have to close out the meeting. So do we have a motion to adjourn? Thank you. Thank you. So I think we can all do a voice vote. Aye. 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 We're adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for coming.